Hello. Hi, my name is Paul. You're welcome to another Adalo tutorial. Today we're going to be learning how to create a no-code tool using Adalo. Adalo is a tool that does enable anyone and everyone to create a mobile application for iOS, Android, and for the web as fast as possible. You don't really need to know how to code. All you need to do is to have some idea on how you want your app how you want your app to behave and the kind of features you want, and you'll be able to create it. So our note-taking app today, which I'm going to call it App X, is going to have some features. Sign up, log in. Users will be able to create notes. They will be able to edit notes, delete notes, and view all the notes. So just like your normal note-taking app on your iOS or on your Android phone, it's something similar that we're going to be creating. Let me show you something I've created before. So these are all the screens. We have the sign up screen, the login screen. Then we have the list of the notebooks that we've created, notes we've created. We have the create note screen. We have the read your note. Then we have a model pop-up that will tell us if we want to delete our note or not. Then we also have the edit note screen. This is an app that I've created already, so I can sign up. I can log in. So I have a login details already. So I'm gonna just log in quickly. Password 12345. I'm gonna say login. So you can see I have a note. So if I click on the plus button here, I'm able to create a note. Maybe my first day at school. So this is my note copy. So I'm just going to look for a copy somewhere else. So I'm just going to quickly look for a copy here and paste it here. So this is my note copy. I'm just going to copy, pull a lot, then choose a category and say school, and say create note. So you can see this is my note, so it's there. When I click it, I can easily view everything I've reading. This is the date I created the note, which is 27th of March. And also I can delete. If I want to delete it, I can say okay. I don't want to delete. I say cancel. I can delete this other one and say okay. So it's all gone. Now we're back again to square one. So that's what we're going to create in this tutorial. It's going to be quite short, and let's go ahead and create it. Let's go. So this is it. I'm going to create a new application and say new, call it a mobile application and say next. We're going to say blank and next. We're just going to leave it with a different color. So let's just say Android. Let's say Android Note. So let's just give it this name, Android Note, and say create. So this is the way your sign up will look like the first time you log into, the first time you start creating an app with Adalo. So the first thing that you always want to do is to have your database planned out. Your database is the bedrock of everything you create using Adalo. You need to have it planned out, and you need to plan it out very well. So for our note, we need two things. We need for our note, we need, let's say what we need. We need a category. Then we need the note itself. We need the note copy. We need a name of the note. We also need, what else do we need? The category, the note copy, the name of the note. So you can always go ahead and add images, you can add videos. So these are ways you can improve your application, but we just need category, the note copy, and the name of the note. So let's go create this. So let's go, click on database, add a new collection. We'll call this category, as I will call this, categories, and we'll say add. Then the next, we're not going to add a property at all. The next one, we're going to say note list. I'm going to call this the note list collection. So collection is the way, it's the way that Adalo arrange all your database, all your database columns, all your database rows. So everything, if you want to do your user, you see the user has a collection and it has a lot of properties. The properties include the email, the password, the username, and the full name. So we're going to add a property here. We already have a name here, and that's good. Then we're going to add a property called note copy. We're going to say note copy. It's a note copy. This is the text or the article that you want to write on your note. And that's all we need for the database. So that's all we need for the database. So the user log in, sign up, and go ahead and view his note. So we're going to, let's go ahead and enter some categories first. Let's create some categories. This record is empty. You can see it's empty. Let's add a category called, let's say night out. So let's just call it name of a category. Let's add another category called study. And let's add a third category called work. So say work. So this is another category called work, and we say done. Let's go ahead also and add some note. We're going to add some record to our note. We say add. The name of our note, I'm going to say my most happy moment. So just going to copy some text on it. It doesn't have to be relevant since this is a tutorial. So we're just going to add some text to it. And add another record to this. And the reason why we're adding a record so we can make use of the data to populate our list. That's why we're doing it. My first day in school, day at school. So I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to say just paste also and say save. That's it. So we're good with the database. The next, we want to create a relationship between the note and the category, because we know a lot of notes will belong to one category, but one category will belong to a note. So we're going to click this and say add a new property, then relationship, and say category. So we're creating a relationship between the note list and the category. So Adalo provides us with three different lists. So we have one-to-one, we have the many-to-one, and we have one-to-many. The first one says the category can have multiple note lists. A note list belongs to one category. A category can have only one note list. A note list can have multiple categories. So we can see that a category can have multiple note lists, and a note list belongs to one category. So you might want to brainstorm and say, hey, how do I want to arrange my database? How do I want to arrange my database? So for me, I'm going to go for the first one. A category can have multiple note lists, but a note list belongs to one category. So that's where I'm going to go for the first one and say, yeah, that's what I want to pick, and I'll call it category and say save. Then what we're going to do now is that we're going to start building everything. So the first one is a list. The first screen is just a list. It's a list of all the notes that we have already. So I'm going to look for a list. I'm going to say not add a screen. I'm going to say add a component and just go for a list. So that's what we need for the first. I'm going to say this is a list, and we'll just put it here. So this is a list. That's the first thing we want to do. And I want to say, what's this list? This is a list of note. These are all a list of all the notes that we've all the notes that we want to take. So I'm going to say, how do I want to arrange it? I want to arrange it from the newest to the oldest. That's how I want to arrange it. Maximum number of items, just leave it empty, and I want to click on the component. So we have the title and the subtitle. So I want the title to be the name, and the subtitle to be the category. So I'm going to delete this and click on the magic text and say I want the subtitle to be the current category name. So I want the title to be the current name. Then I'm done with that. So I'm going to go to the next label, component. I'm going to say subtitle. Then I want the subtitle to be the category. That's what I want. You can swap yours depending on what makes sense to you. Then my current list category name. So that's what I want. And that's it. So that's what we have there. That's what we have. Then we want to put a way for people to delete and update a list. So we want to put a way for people to create new list. Just create a new list on the go. So I'm gonna say look for an icon. I'm gonna put an icon. This is an icon. I'm gonna change it, and we'll put the plus. On this icon, we'll put the plus button. We want to increase the size of the icon a bit, and then change it to maybe add. I think that's it. You can change it to any of this, and it's fine. So you're gonna change it to this. Change the color to something beautiful, probably green or something beautiful, and increase the size. So we're gonna increase the size of it. So whenever this button is clicked, the user is prompted to create a new article, a new note. So whenever it's clicked, we create a new note. So that's what we're going to do. We go to action and we say link. We're going to say link to a new screen. We're going to call this screen create note. That's what we're going to call it, create note. And we're going to choose this form. We just choose this form here, this form. And we say create screen. So that's what we're doing. Then we're just going to say what kind of, this is a collection of what? Note. This is a collection of note list. And we'll click on the feed and say add visible feed, which is category. Because the reason why we're saying this is because we've added, we have a relationship between the category and the note list. So that's why we're able to bring the category when we're creating note. So you can see what we have here. It says immediately create a new note list when we click on this button. So we'll go to submit button. We can, this is a submit button. So we want to change it, create a new note. So I'm going to say create a new note. That's what I want to say. Create a new note. We can always change the formatting if we want to. So after creating a new note, we have two actions here that comes directly from Adalo. So the first one is create a new note, and the other one is link back to the screen when the person says, I am done. One other thing we want to do also is the feed. We want to make it multiple lines, which is very, very important. We don't have a placeholder, so we want to make it multiple lines. Go to the form and say, so we want to make it multiple line. Currently looking for where to do that. So that's going to be on the styles. We have to look for it. It doesn't seem to be here. So I'm wondering why it's not. We can always make it multiple lines. So I'm looking for that. Let's say name. Yeah. Let's click on the edit styles. See. Okay. Whenever I find out how to do that, I'll let you know. But let's just go ahead for the sake of time. So this is the plus button is going to create it and go back to this next screen, and so it's going to add it up to itself. But we also have other things. We have the delete button and we also have the read button. So when we click on this, where do we want it to go? We want it to go to the place where we can read a note. So we'll go down here and we'll click on add an action and we'll say nailing to a new screen. What we want this screen to do, we just want to read. We just want to read on the screen. That's what we want it to do, like see the notes that we've created. So I'm just going to click on this and say create. This screen, we didn't name it, so I didn't name the screen, so I'm going to name it something else. I'm going to name it read note screen. Read note. So that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a read note screen. We do not need the image, so we're going to delete the image, take it up, do not need the image. So we do not need the image. I'm just going to delete this. We do not need this. So what we need basically is the name of the. So I'm gonna, for in my own case, I'm adding the date. The date it's created. So I'm adding the date. The date it was created. I can decide the date format by clicking. So when I click on the button, it's when I click on the magic text, it takes me to the date format. So I want to choose this as the date format, and that's all I want to do there. Take it upwards for the date created. And also after that, I also want to add an input. I want to add this text, or I want to add text that will show the note. So then I will take it off, then click on my current note. So this is supposed to be my current note new property, but I think I didn't name it properly. Note list new property. I think I didn't name it properly, but I just wonder why it's saying new property. But okay, yeah. So we're supposed to call it note copy, not new property. So note copy. That's what we're supposed to call it. Note copy. So I'm just gonna save. So we'll go down here and take this away, and click it. Then say current note copy. So this is what we want to do here, and we're done with this. And so I'm gonna click on this screen, click on the app screen, and change it to not that part. So I want to click on the app screen, click on the app menu, and go to. I want to change the title here. So I'll change the title to read note. So read note, as I'll change the title to. So this is where they just come around here and read note, anyone who's using the application. One other feature that we have again is the ability to edit and delete note. So on my own application, I put it here. I'm gonna put an icon, two icons, one for the delete, one for the delete. I stack mine on top of each other. You don't have to. You can always stack it differently. So say edit. So this is the edit pencil icon. Then I added another icon called delete. Icon. That's it. Icon. I called it the delete. So it's here. I'm gonna say the delete icon. That means you put it in the trash. So that's it. Then the edit icon, I want it to go somewhere else. The edit icon, I want it to go to another screen and say new screen. It's going to be a form too. So it's going to be this type of form too. I'm going to say edit note. That's what I want to say. It's going to be the same type of form, but this time we're just going to update it. So I'm going to drag it downwards. So that's how Adalo works. You can always drag it downwards whenever you want to. So I'm just dragging it downwards so that we'll know the screen that it's connected to. So this is going to be a collection of note list. That's it. And we have also this is a collection of note list, but we don't want to create, we want to update. So that's the difference between what we want to do. The first one we created, and this one we just want to update. So we're just going to say update. And our feed, we're going to add visible feed, like visible feed, which is a category. Visible feed is the category. So we want to add yeah. So that's it. Then for a placeholder, oh yeah, this is where we got to add the multiple feed that we're looking for. So for the feed, so we'll go to the feed. For not the name, we don't have problem with the name, is the name copy. So we want it to be multi-line, not single line. So we're going to go up there and create it, change it to multi-line. So it's going to So it's going to update. That's what it's going to update. So it's just going to update. When the user enter the new name, enter the new copy, it's just going to update it. That's what it's going to do. Yeah, so it's going to update it. That's what it's going to do. So when we are done with this, what we want it to do is, so we go to our submit button, and so we can see it's going to update the note list, and it's going to link back all over again. That's the simple thing we want it to do. Then let's go ahead and work on the delete button. So this is it. We just wanted to delete it, but not straight away. We want to give user the option to say, hey, I want to delete it or not. So now that we've created the edit button, now it's time for us to create the delete button. So click on the delete, click on the delete icon, click on action and say link to a new screen. Link to a new screen that says delete. So we're going to call this delete note. So we're going to call it delete note and say create screen. So what we're creating here now, it's a modal pop-up. That's what we're creating here now. We're creating a modal pop-up. That's what we're creating. Same we choose. So we're creating a model pop-up. So we're just gonna create it. Forgive me, my screen is not so large, so that's why it's I have to adjust and take it up all the same way. So I'm gonna delete this. So to create a model pop-up, I'm gonna drag in a rectangle, simple shapes, drag in a rectangle, just put it in between, drag in a rectangle. Then I will put a button, make the screen transparent, the first screen. So I'm making the first screen transparent. Now this one. So I'm going to make the first screen transparent. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to make it really, really transparent. I'm going to make this screen transparent so it doesn't show. That's the reason why we'll make it transparent, so it doesn't show on the top one. Then we're going to add a test. Where's my test? We're going to add a test and say, are you sure you want to delete? Are you sure you want to delete your note? So that's my test. Are you sure you want to delete your note? I'll put it in and put it somewhere here. Then I will put a button. Then I will put a button here. One that says yes. And the other one says cancel. So I'll just put a button here. Put another button. Yeah, put a button here. Another one. Or maybe not a button, probably just put a test. Let's just put a test here. A simple test that says cancel. That says OK. So I want the OK to be a lot bigger, to be smaller, because we don't want the user to cancel the application. So put it. So this other one, I'm going to make this one bigger, cancel. Because I don't want him or her to cancel. I don't want him or her to delete the notes. I'm going to say cancel. Increase the size to 20. So that's what I want to do here. And when the person clicks on the OK, I'm going to delete it. Yeah, that's what I want to do, delete it. So I'm going to say delete. So there's a reason why this is not working, because we got our relationship wrong. So I'm going to go into my database, because right now, when I click on OK, I want to create that relationship again. When I say delete, it's showing me the category. So that's not good. So I'm going to go to my database under my category relationship. So I'm going to say delete. Just go ahead and delete it. I'm going to say add new property, then go back to my relationship and say category. Then say category can have one note list. A note list can have multiple categories. I'm going to say done and save. Then when I click on the OK, click on the OK button and say add new action. So it's going to say delete current note list. I'm going to say OK. Yeah. So I'll say done. Then on my console, I would click on the console and say add action. Then I would say go back. So that's all I want. So that's it. That's how to create a note-taking app. So you can see we just created about 6 screens, and that's all I think 7 screens, and that's all we need to create a note-taking app using Adalo. You can improve it. You can add images, you can add visuals, you can add audios, you can do all to improve the options. Probably we will want to work on this app a whole lot more so we can improve the interface and improve what the users can do as time goes on. But let's go ahead and preview our application. See what our application can do. So I'm just going to sign up with new email at gmail.com, password 12345, full name, new email. Say sign up. So right now we have 2. Let's see if our delete button is working. Let's see if it works. Okay, it deletes, but it doesn't go back to the other screen. But let's see what happened. Let's go check our database and see if anything happened to our record. So we have note list, we have just 1 record left. So that means it's working, but it's not going back to the other screen. So we'll click on it, click on our delete. Not that. Let's go click on the OK and say after delete, so we have add another action and say link back. So after delete, it goes back. That's it. So let's go preview again. Don't want to, let's say delete again, say OK. Now it's gone. Let's click on our plus button. Let's add a name, Paul at school. So this is the name of the node. So we're going to choose the node property is still there, but it's supposed to be a node list. I'm pretty sure you understand. So today I jumped blah blah blah. So I'm going to just put it there. But we're going to increase and make it a multiple list before we're done. So study, we're going to say create new note. Let's see what happens. So now we have our note here. Let's click on it and see what happens. So you see, we have our note, and that's boom. It's there, and that's really good. Click on our button. We're going back. Click on our edit. So you see, we can edit our note. We can edit the name. Let's change the name of this. Paul at school and church. So I love to go to church. Let's change the name. So we've changed the name. Let's update the list and see what happens. Choose a category now. Let's update the list. What happened? Let's see what happened. Let's edit again. Let's change it to work and say update. Okay, yeah, so it's working. See, it's working. So we have one thing that we have to do to make sure that our app is good. Our note copy. And when we click on the plus button, the note copy you can see is just 1 line, so it's not multiple line. Let's go back and change that. So this is our create note. We'll go to our feeds, then we'll go to our note copy and say multiple line, which is important. Then let's go down to our category. So you can see it's saying our category itself have been deleted, which it does not. Let's say add visible feed category, and so our category is back all over again. So let's preview and see that everything works perfectly. I'll sign up, everything just worked perfectly for us. So now we can sign up, we can add, we can go back, and now we can edit. You can see we're back, we can do this. So you see our multiple feed has increased now, our name, our categories. So that's it. That's how to create a note-taking app using Adalo. Don't forget to leave your comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more. Next, I'm going to be improving this application. So it's going to be a follow-up. The next video is going to be a follow-up of this. Do well to come back to this channel and turn on your notification bell so you get a notification every time I drop an Adalo tutorial there. So keep building, keep checking out Adalo. I'm pretty sure it's great for building an application. Do have a good day.